What is up, guys? It's Pedro here. I have another weekly Washington football team stream, and I got my guy Corey from On the Warpath. Make sure you guys check him out. Great Washington football team YouTuber. I know a lot of you guys know him, so make sure you guys go ahead and check him out. He does a lot of great Washington content, has some special guests on his streams all the time, or on his videos. He gets some nice interviews, so make sure you guys go ahead check him out. And he does, just like Juan, who I don't think will be able to make it today. He does live streams during the game as well. So make sure you guys check him out. How you doing, Corey?
I can't complain, bro. I appreciate you having me on here, Pedro. It's been a
Yeah.
minute. It seems like every time we try to get together, I'm out of town or I'm in some undisclosed location, and but I was able to we're finally able to make a time work. So I'm glad to be on
Yeah,
there
it's
with you. I appreciate
it's
it.
great to have you on. So yeah, basically today we're gonna be, doing what we usually do, previewing the game against the Eagles. We're gonna go through everyone on the COVID list, talking about who we think's gonna play, who's not gonna play. Because I mean, this is a fluid situation right here. We don't know who's gonna be playing, but we're gonna try to give you guys our best guess, and then we'll go through keys to victory. Maybe we'll give a score prediction. I think it's going to be tough just because we don't really know who's playing at quarterback,
Hmm.
but we'll kind of give, our game take, kind of what we feel, and then we'll go through the win view picks and just chill at the end, talk about whatever you guys want. So let's first start off with the virus situation. I mean, we got a bunch of guys on the list. Do you think we're gonna get any significant names back tomorrow? You think we're gonna get Allen, Heineke, or anyone else who's on the list?
Yeah. Um. Yeah, I think we should. I thought Allen was already activated off of it.
Or I meant Kyle
Oh,
Allen. I
you
meant
talk about Kyle Allen.
yeah,
Sorry,
yeah.
sorry. I think it's a good shot you can get one of those guys back. But the fact that they're kind of mum on it, I'm still think it terrifies me if Jared Gilbert has to start, just because you got a guy who is, who hasn't really started a lot of games in the NFL, and his big game of fame was when he played for Dallas and they almost beat Pittsburgh last season. So that's what I'm gonna be worried about, and how Scott Turner focuses on that and getting this quarterback ready, especially being down half offensive coaching staff too.
Yeah, yeah, it's tough. So let's say hi to some people in the chat. Let's see. What's up, Darius? Appreciate you coming through. What's up, Rashad? What's up, Hassan Moore? Haven't seen you in a while. Appreciate you coming. What's up, Corey? What's up, Reggie Reg, my guy? And what's up, Patrick and Tyler? So appreciate everyone for coming through. So yeah, I mean, a lot of guys on the list. We got yesterday we got Cam Sims and Daniel Wise back. So not like any huge guys, but some contributors that will help with Curtis Samuel being out. Man, don't even start me on Curtis Samuel. We might get into that a little bit later, but man, he's made out of glass. But he's gonna be out, probably gonna be out for the season. So having Cam Sims back is gonna be helpful. I assume if Troy Apke doesn't get activated, I think Cam Sims will be the gunner. He'll replace Troy Apke out there because Cam Sims is a dog on special teams. He's really, really good. I don't know if he's been playing much lately, but I think he'll replace Troy Apke out there. And yeah, Michael's right. I mean, we got 7 coaches out, I believe. Running backs coach, receivers coach, DBs coach, and then a few others are out too. So I mean that's definitely a hit. At least it's not an offensive or defensive or Ron Rivera, a coordinator or a head coach. Because if those guys are out, that's huge because those guys are calling plays. But it's next coach up now. Next coach
Right.
up. These guys are gonna have to come in, guys and girls, because Jennifer King is our running backs coach now. They're gonna have to come in, step up, do their job, make sure. I mean, these guys are ready to play. They've been prepared, but these coaches are gonna have to make the in-game adjustments to prepare these players to go out there and ball out. So Kyle Allen and Taylor Heineke, we still don't know if they're going to be back. I mean, there was really, a lot of optimism that one of those two guys would would be back today or tomorrow. So if none of those guys are back, I don't really give us a good shot of winning at all. But if Kyle Allen or Taylor Heineke come back, any given Sunday, even with all the guys, we have out, we have a chance. At the very least, we have a chance with Heineke or Allen. So let's see. I think Sheriff today got put on the list, and then
Yep.
Initis got activated. So really, so far, the 2 days that they postponed it by, it really didn't do much for us. I mean, if you think about it, we get Initis back, but we lose Sheriff and we lose 7 to 8 coaches. So unless we get someone back tomorrow, it really didn't help us that much.
No. Yeah, and Pedro, you look at it this way too. Drew Terrell, who's a wide receivers coach, is going to transfer over to Jim Hostler, who was the wide receivers coach last year. I
Yeah.
think Jennifer King's capable of doing Randy Jordan's job too. That's why she got that little bump on her title. And then defensively wise, they have so many coaches in the secondary, which that's where two of them are going to be at. Chris Harris and Brett Vesselmeyer, they're not going to be there, but Richard Rodgers is still going to be there, and
Assistant, yeah.
that's a long time assistant of Ron Rivera, so it's somebody he trusts back there. And I think Sam Mills the third is going to
Oh
be
yeah,
out
he's
too.
out.
So
He's out.
yeah, and Jeff Scania, who's assistant defensive line coach, he'll be there. He was a proven veteran when he was there 14 years in the NFL. So I think you've got capable people that can slide into those positions. Uh, Now, I think if you're talking about John Matsko being gone or Pete Hayner, I think you would have some problems there. But I think that you've got people who can slide in and not devaluing any of these people who aren't going to be there tomorrow. But I think you kind of, knock on wood, kind of missed the train with the coaches. And it's going to be a tight squeeze. But we've seen throughout this whole season, Washington does nothing easy, and it
Yeah.
always seems to work out. The more it's stacked against us, the better chance we have to succeed.
Yeah, and one thing I'm just thinking about, I'm really not too concerned with our defense unless there's no more, positive cases or guys being put on the list. I am feeling solid about our defense, especially going up against the Eagles because, our guys that are out are Kendall Fuller and Cameron Crowe. We still have a couple, Tim Settle and some other guys here and there, but our main guys that are out on defense are Kendall Fuller and Cameron Crowe. And I'm really not scared of any of those receivers besides Devontae Smith, and they don't really get him the ball that much.
Right.
The Eagles don't even get him the ball that much. It's kind of like some games they do, some games they don't. So I'm more concerned about their running ability and Jalen Hurts, who might be a little bit banged up. That's really what I'm concerned about. And our D line is basically as healthy as it's been since the Broncos game because Montez Sweat's going to be back. We're going to have Jonathan Allen. We're going to have Deron Payne. We're going to have Ioannidis and, James Smith-Williams slash Casey Tuill slash Shakatoni. Our linebackers are good to go. Landon Collins should be fully healthy. So our defense, honestly, and who knows? I know Cameron Curl and Kendall Fuller. It's likely that they're both not vaccinated, but like there's been players in the last week or so that have gone off the reserve list in 4 or 5 days, so they still have a chance because the protocols are a little bit lighter and the new variant is more mild, that they still have a chance of coming back. So if they come back, I'm feeling amazing about our defense. If not, I'm not feeling great. But our offense is going to have to be able to run the football, regardless of who's playing at quarterback. Even if it's Taylor Heineke, even if it's Kyle Allen, we have to run the football. That's just what we have to do. I know we weren't able to do it well against the Cowboys early on, but I felt like we went away from it too quickly. Like we gave Gibson one carry on the first possession and then one more on the second. Like I need to see more than that because that's what got you there. That's what got you 4 straight wins. I need to see more running the football.
Yeah, no doubt. I think that's kind of what we got away with from in the Dallas game, right? We just got away early from running the football, and then you put yourself in the hole by turning the ball over via the pass. You look at it, you had the interception, then you had a fumble by Taylor Heineke there that put you there 18-0 in the first quarter. So you've got to you've got to hold on to the ball, and you're going up against the number one rushing attack in the NFL as well. So this game could be done in 2 hours if you put the ball on, and possessions will be limited. I would I kind of tend to lean on the side that maybe it depends on who the quarterback's going to be for the Eagles. Like you said, they may have Jalen Hurts, they may have Gardner Minshew. If they
They
have
said
Gardner Minshew,
they said it's expected to be Jalen Hurts because he
okay,
has no injury designation, so he should be playing.
okay, so and he's their leading rusher too.
Yeah,
So, I, I would. I'm not as concerned about him beating us with his arm because he just hasn't proven that yet. Now this could be the game.
yeah,
Philadelphia complains about them playing on Tuesday. Pedro, they basically had a 2-week bye.
yeah.
They had a 2-week bye in December.
And
They
they play
haven't
the
played.
Giants. They play the Giants, who have
Yeah,
freaking Jake Fromm as their starting quarterback this week.
they played the Jets too. To reference, so they're gonna do bookend sandwiches of this. Pretty much, they play us, and then they're gonna play the Giants. So, shut up, guys. This seemed like it benefited y'all. This was just us getting right when they changed the rules, and we had to do this last year against Pittsburgh. But nobody was saying, "Oh, boo-hoo, poor Washington." So,
Yeah, I
I don't
agree.
shoot.
I agree. Just put Corey's link in there, so make sure you guys go ahead and sub him up, and make sure you guys go ahead and like up the stream. Yeah, we're fine on defense, in my opinion. Got to focus on Jalen Hurts. I'm not. I mean, the Giants beat them. The Giants beat
Right.
them 2 weeks or last time. I think their last game, the Giants beat them. So I'm not too scared. I'm really not too scared of their offense. I'm not too scared of them I'm not too scared of them throwing the football. Running the football, their run game's good. They're good run blockers. Miles Sanders is solid. Boston Scott is solid.
Right.
Jordan Howard is a good, goal line back. He can, do some good work. And Kenneth Gainwell is a, good pass catching back. So I'm concerned about the running game. And then, I don't want us to put too much pressure on. I don't want us to put too much pressure on Jalen Hurts because then he's going to beat us. What just happened?
Ooh, you joke with a. My goodness, if that's a catch, good. Googa mugga.
David and
Holy
Joker made a
moly.
nice catch.
Oh, yeah. He had, was it Joseph pushed him out of bounds? He got one. Oh, heaven almighty. Yeah.
Did he make it?
Oh, I think he did. Let's see. No, no. That force out don't count in the NFL. It's close. That's
Man.
close. That's close catch. That's a nice catch. That's a nice
Yeah,
catch. I hope it stands.
but so just I think in terms of our defense, I don't want to overcommit sometimes on Jalen Hurts because we know he's going to beat us in space. He's going to kill us there, and I do not trust Jamin Davis to tackle Jalen Hurts in open field. I do not trust him at all and Jamin Davis against Cowboys. I can't remember him doing too much, but the game before that against the Raiders, he had in my opinion, that game he had the most impact plays he had all season, but he also had so many plays that were just like, man, what are you doing? Like he took a terrible angle on Derek Carr and then just couldn't get him. Like, I don't know. I don't trust Jamin Davis yet. But yeah, we'll see.
Yeah, it's been growing pains for him, and then I don't think the performance like we've seen out of Micah Parsons this year has really proven it. Because we've got people saying, "But Washington passed on him," and I'm like, guys, the Washington didn't pass on him; they didn't do enough to move up to get him. But
Yeah.
we sit here. Go ahead.
No, yeah, and with Micah Parsons,
Yeah,
he's not an amazing linebacker. Like in terms of his linebacker
he's a
skills,
pass rush
yeah,
specialist.
he's more of an amazing elite edge rusher and playmaker.
Mm-hmm.
Like he's got the traits to be a good linebacker, but he's just an elite edge rusher that can do some things well as a linebacker. And I think maybe down the line they'll use him more and more because he's really relying on his strength. He's relying on his athleticism to get to the quarterback. He has some great moves as well, kind of like what Chase Young did last year. But I think as he gets more developed, he'll start playing a little bit more linebacker, and it really depends on what they need him to do. That's really what, with the Cowboys, I mean, and Micah Parsons, if they need an edge rusher, they're going to put Micah Parsons out there because there's no one better than him there. But if their linebacker situation isn't great, maybe they'll put him out there for a little bit more. And he still plays linebacker a decent amount of the time, but he's an animal out there. So let's get into some of the actual injury updates. So Curtis Samuel, J.D. McKissic, those guys are out. And someone asked about a tight end update. So our tight ends, John Bates, I think he's our only tight end actually. That's gonna for
Seals
sure.
Jones was on there. He's on the injury list too.
Yeah, he's questionable. So John Bates is our only for sure healthy because Samus Reyes is on the COVID list. So I think whatever the guy's name, the fullback Arma or whatever his name is, he has some flexibility. He can play like fullback, running back, and tight end. So he might get some snaps there, probably more as a blocker. But John Bates is gonna have to carry the load if Ricky Seals-Jones isn't able to play. So we'll see. We'll see. But yeah, that's definitely a good point. Let's hope Reyes can get off the list because we'll just use him as a blocker. And Ricky Seals-Jones, let's hope he's good to go. Because if it's not COVID, he should be able to play unless it's really, really bad illness. So yeah, those are the main injuries, man. J.D. McKissic, it's weird, this J.D. McKissic situation, because he cleared concussion protocol and now it's the neck. But the thing is, 2 weeks ago, or it might have been a week and a half ago, he was limited all week. So and this whole week he was DNP. So I'm not sure what changed, if it got worse or if they're just trying to arrest it. But that's an interesting situation. Really, all year, everything the staff has done in terms of the medical staff has been a little weird. You know what I'm saying? Why is this guy going out there? He's the week after he's practicing fully or limited all week, and then now 2 weeks later he's DNP all week and he cleared concussion protocol.
Yeah, well, I mean, you look at it this way too, Pedro. We had a drug kingpin who was who was the trainer for the longest time.
Ryan Vermillion.
And then you go out and get like Bubba Tyer out of retirement, and the man probably was doing he was doing like medical operations like they did back in biblical times, back when he was playing. Like some of that stuff isn't like kosher anymore in the medical field, but I think it's just been mismanagements like that with the trainers. Which I thought was very telling was Terry's situation. The fact that he was out there practicing and running around and all that good stuff on Friday with Garrett Gilbert, I was like, wow, he passed that concussion protocol really quickly after the type of slam he had on there. So I don't know, but it goes to show you that do they really have a handle on what's going on there? If like you said, with J.D. McKissic was in concussion protocol, and he had a neck injury. So to me, that would be like, oh, you're still kind of in that concussion protocol type thing because that head and neck area. But
yeah,
what do I know? I don't get these things. I don't get paid to make these fancy medical diagnoses. I didn't pay $500,000 to go and diagnose people. So
Yeah. Let's see. What's up, Super Chef? Appreciate that. Yes. If we get a win tomorrow, it's gonna be a nice Christmas.
Yes.
Being right, because if we win this week against Eagles, I feel like we have a really good shot of making the playoffs because you're one win away from having like a 40-ish%. Because if you have 9 wins, you're basically guaranteed to making the playoffs. If you get 8, it's like you're likely not getting in, but there's still like a 1 in 4 chance. Like other things have to happen, but you still have a chance. And you win this week against the Eagles. I mean, the Giants game, Daniel Jones, Daniel Jones is not good. He's not a good quarterback, but he's way better than Mike Lennon, way better than Jake Fromm. So Daniel Jones is not going to be playing. He's out for the year. So that's another win where if we don't get it, that's sad. So that's 2 wins right there. And that basically just means you got to split against the Eagles and the Cowboys. And if you sweep the Eagles, you're basically guaranteed to get in the playoffs because they're our main competitor right now. Or I guess now the Saints as well. But if you sweep the Eagles, you're eliminating one team from that playoff contention. So I mean, it's going to be tough, but if we win this game, we're in a really, really good spot in terms of the playoffs.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
it's going to be tough, though. I mean, we don't know who's going to be playing quarterback, so.
Yeah, nobody's doing us favors either. I mean, you look last night with the Saints, who saw that coming, that they would have three of their top offensive weapons have injuries, which Chris Godwin, I think, is out for the year with a torn ACL now, and they get shut out 9-0 on national television. Nobody, Vegas couldn't have told you that. And then San Francisco, they're getting hot at the right time too. They're 8-6. They're getting ready to go and take on ailing Tennessee team that just can't
Just
seem to
lost to
get right.
Steelers.
Yeah, lost to Pittsburgh, and now you're gonna go Nashville the couple days before Christmas. So I mean, man, nobody is doing this team any favors.
Yeah.
You got to take care of your business.
Yeah, let's see. What's up, King Sean? Appreciate you coming through. What's up, Rockman 1033? And what's up, Armin Brown? Yeah, the Tampa Bay loss hurt us a bit and helped the Cowboys. Honestly, at this point, I don't care about the Cowboys because it really has no effect on us. The only game that matters is us beating them, and we're gonna have to root for the Cowboys when they're going up against like the Eagles. Do they still play the Eagles? They played the Eagles once, right? Or no?
Who's that?
The Cowboys.
Yeah, they play them at the end of the season.
Yeah, so that's the only time I'm going to care about the Cowboys. But yeah, I mean the Bucks, their injuries might catch up to them in terms of Evans, Godwin, and Fournette and Levante David. Man, it's one of the reasons sometimes I just get so frustrated with fantasy football. I'm in the playoffs, week 1 of the playoffs, and then I have Mike Evans, and my fantasy game's close, but I'm projected to win by like 15. And then Mike Evans gets hurt in the first quarter, and then it just ruins it all. But we'll see. I still have a chance. I know Chubb's on my team, so I know he just scored. So, and the Browns.
We don't care. We don't care about your fantasy team. We don't care about this.
Hey, all I'm saying, Browns got to keep feeding Nick Chubb. But let's see. Yeah, I mean, I think the Cowboys should be able to take care of business against the Eagles, they will actually take care of business against them because this is the last game of the season. There's only one first seed. So they're gonna really want or not. Well, obviously there's only one first seed, but there's only one bye. There's only one team with a bye, so they're gonna really want that win. So I think they're gonna play it out. What's up, Ali? What's up, Brian? Appreciate you coming through. I don't know. D-Nell, no. CeeDee Lamb is not better than McLaurin. I think CeeDee Lamb had like 4 drops yesterday, 3 or 4 drops, and you give McLaurin Dak Prescott, and you do not even Dak Prescott. You give him freaking Jimmy Garoppolo, and he's a top. I don't know. He already is a top 10 receiver, but in terms of production, his production goes through the roof with any, competent quarterback. And, Taylor Heineke has his moments at times, but there's so many yards being left out there on the field with Taylor Heineke as the quarterback. Trayvon Diggs locked up McLaurin. I mean, he did well against him, but if you actually watch the film, not sure if you did, he was open multiple times. I mean, it's just Taylor Heineke. If he throws him a good ball, he beats him. I think one of the plays, Diggs was in zone, so it might have not made it wasn't necessarily his fault, but still, I think, in my opinion, I would take Terry over CeeDee Lamb 100%. At least right now, who's a better receiver right now? I take Terry. Maybe in a few years, because CeeDee Lamb's super young. That's a little bit of a different story. But what do you think, CeeDee Lamb versus Terry? Who would you rather have on your team?
I would rather have Terry McLaurin because he's a complete receiver, right? He's not the fastest, but you can rely on him. Now I know the stats won't show it. Like I think I was looking this up the other day, and he's like top 17 in targets, but he's got like the worst catch ratio in the NFL because it's just because like Taylor throws is like, oh, I'm just gonna throw it his direction, and maybe he might catch the ball. And these would be uncatchable balls at times too.
Well,
So
and
yeah.
yeah, no, one quick thing before you go.
Mhm.
And when he does, like sometimes Taylor will make the right read, he'll throw it at the right time, but he doesn't
Uh-huh.
have the arm strength, and it'll just be like a lollipop throw right to him.
Yep. You can't target, and then with somebody like Taylor, and I'm riding the 4 car the rest of the season. Right? That I'm not. If he's there, I'm riding with him. But
Yeah,
Taylor, early on, we would see he would lock on to Terry. I remember when I was at the Giants game, and he had like 14 targets of Terry. And people started catching on to it. They're like, whoa, now, hold on, Chief. You're going to beat us with Cam Sims. You're going to beat us with Curtis Samuel. You're going to beat us. Dude, 10 is a curse since Bob Griffin had it. Like, they need to write a book called Surviving Number 10 in DC because nobody can survive it. RG3, Paul Richardson, Curtis Samuel, these guys, none of them. John Hall was terrible in number 10 before then. So I don't know, but yeah, I think with Terry, he has not had a proper quarterback to throw to him, and that's what is hindering his game. That's why people don't take him as a legitimate top 100 player, and now he's in the middle of his worst statistical season, right? I mean, he's only got like what 600-700 yards receiving this year so far.
who
So,
Terry?
yeah, Terry, how
Terry
many
has like eight
yards
hundred, I think.
he's got? Yeah. So I mean, in a 17 game season, he should be having more going down stretch. It's going to be similar to what it was, and he didn't miss a game this year. So it's about who's throwing the ball to him. It's not necessarily Terry. And CD Lamb, elite. He has a potential to be an elite receiver in this league, but he has to have perfect conditions. Terry's performing, and he doesn't have ideal conditions. So imagine if he had ideal conditions, he'd be unstoppable.
Yeah, you see someone like DK Metcalf, who, in terms of production, was blowing Terry McLaurin out of the water,
Mm-hmm.
and then Russell Wilson gets hurt, his production dips all the way down, and even when
Right.
Russell's been, has come back, he's a little bit rusty, and his production is super, super low, and I wonder why. Why was his, production so much better than Terry's when he had Russell Wilson, and when he doesn't? Obviously,
Mm-hmm.
it's way lower. So, I that's just what I think. Like, it's the quarterback. If Terry has an average NFL quarterback, he
Right.
has 1300 plus
Exactly.
yards. So yeah, that's it with Terry. But
He has
any
Baker.
so
He'd be an All Pro. If he had Baker Mayfield, he'd be an All Pro.
yeah, yeah, and Baker, yeah, Baker's average.
Yep.
So any keys to victory you have for this game?
Run the ball. Run the ball. Don't run it. If Gibson puts it on the turf, run it with Patterson. Like there should be 30 plus. I'd say there got to be 40 runs. Keep away from them. Shorten the game up. You got to shorten this game up. You can't get in a passing match with these guys. Because if you do, you're going to wind up losing. Because you turn the ball over, especially if you have Garrett Gilbert starting on tomorrow night. Oh, Lord, Pedro. My God. I can see it now. It would be nightmarish.
Yeah,
So, whew.
I agree. We just got to keep running. That's the main key to victory for me.
Mhm.
Keep running the damn ball.
Yep.
I mean, it's what
Oh,
got
man.
us to that 4 game win streak. Keep running the ball behind those hogs. Even though Brandon Sheriff is out, I still think we should be able to run the ball. And I'm like, obviously, what Sheriff has right now really had like him missing this game, not really his fault that much. I mean, there's over 20 players on the list, so not really his fault, but still, I don't know your opinion on this, but I'm not paying Sheriff at the end of the year. I'm not paying him, at least I'm not paying him $17 million a year for an injury prone guard who is playing 12 games for you, and then also when you have Wes Schweitzer, who's obviously he's not as good as Sheriff, but he's still a competent guard. So there's no way
Right.
I'm paying Sheriff whatever he wants.
You invited on the Warpath on here, not DMV Sports Zone, Pedro. I agree.
That's what I was gonna say. That's what I was gonna
I'm
say.
not Nati. I'm not on board Nati. Yes. Go with the Tide. Go with the Tide. Just, I mean, you can't, like, this is what I'm talking about. He holds us hostage. Like, this is what they're going to be in the negotiating. If we win, if we lose, they're like, well, see,
Oh,
that's another game you lost without me. No, it's because we don't have the cohesion with the offensive line, dude. The only reason why he got an All-Pro last year was he was a playoff. He was going to the playoffs. That's the only reason why. You look at the guards that probably could have been better than him. Like, if you look at Pro Football Focus, like in top 10 guards, left or right, most of them were left guards. And the only two right guards, they weren't play. I don't think they were getting ready to go. They weren't on playoff teams.
yeah.
Call me
I
a
agree.
conspiracy theorist, but
No, I agree. I agree. Let's see. He says, remember last year when you thought Chase Young was a generational player? Micah Parsons is way better. I agree with the last part. Micah Parsons is better right now than Chase Young. I still, though, I'm not gonna give up on Chase Young. I still think he's a really good player. I think hopefully this was a reality check this year. Was a reality check that he can't just, rely on his raw athleticism. And I think that's going to be the same thing with Parsons. I'm not saying Parsons is going to have a huge difference next year at all. It could be he could have even more insane season. But I think Parsons as well is going to have to develop more pass rush moves. But Chase Young specifically, he doesn't have many pass rush moves. And that's on him, but also Sam Mills. I'm not a huge Sam Mills guy. If it were me, I would have a different D-line coach next year. But it is what it is. But Chase Young, hopefully this was a reality check for him, and hopefully he will end up, proving a lot of people wrong last year, because he was a beast last year, especially in the second half. Once he recovered from that groin injury, he was a beast last year, and I still do believe in him. And I think he is a generational talent, but he has to step up, because what we saw this year, like, he wasn't, like, people saying he was terrible this year. That's not the case. He was good this year, but we were not expecting good at all. Like, we were expecting elite top 3, top 5 player in terms of defensive player of the year, and he was like a good starting DN in the National Football League, and that was it.
yeah. I think we looked at Ohio State and we saw the Bosa brothers coming out there, and they're complete pass rushers. They're doing it in L.A. and in San Francisco right now. But I think we were looking for Chase Young to come up down the line of succession, and then he comes home. He's trying to become the hometown hero, right? I just think that a lot of that pressure was put on him. If you want to be the man, you gotta work for it, right? And some of that stuff was on him that he wanted to accept that role, and he didn't live up to that expectation as far as developing moves and everything. His finesse was there. See, this is what if Chase Young was as physical as Micah Parsons, we wouldn't be having this discussion. We wouldn't be. Because that's what I see out of Michael Parsons is the dude is physical and he's fast. Chase, fast, and finesse. And I think that, and if I'm wrong, but this is what I'm seeing out of them. I think that's the stark difference between those two guys. Generational talent, I'll put that on the cooler for right now. Not saying he can't regain that, but I do think he can be an elite talent in this league.
Yeah, I agree. And this year Chase Young was still pretty dominant in the run game, in my opinion. I think he was still good in the run game, but his pass rush, I agree with Aquavis. I didn't really see much as a pass rusher, and you can throw in the double team rates and stuff like that, which is true. He was getting double teamed a lot, but Aaron Donald, is he getting double teamed? Yes. Is Myles Garrett getting double teamed? Is TJ Watt? All these guys are getting double teamed, and they still get these huge sack numbers. So, and not even like the thing is, like sacks sometimes isn't always the best stat, and I would
Mm-hmm.
sometimes be, like sometimes you can still be dominant without getting a lot of sacks. But Chase Young, I wasn't seeing that. I wasn't seeing him
Mm-hmm.
constantly in the quarterback's face, giving all these pressures. I wasn't seeing that. So that's where concerns is a little bit concerning for me. But I have faith that he's gonna improve, and hopefully, seeing how the defense was playing without him, like literally the game he left, how they started playing better, and I think it shows him like I need to play to the scheme because he was playing a little, not really doing what the coaches were asking him a little bit. So let's
Right.
answer a couple questions. Someone asked about Cosme. I think they activated him off of IR, so he should be good to go. That is great news. Hopefully he doesn't re-injure himself because he's really this draft class kind of disappointing. I think that Jamin Davis work in progress, but I think we can agree that so far it hasn't look great. He can still be great or still be a good linebacker in this league, but so far doesn't look like a great pick. You look at Sam Cosmi, he was playing really, really good football when he was healthy. I think it was like the best tackle as best rookie tackle, and we got him in the second round. He was playing good. De'Ami Brown, a nothing burger. Like honestly, I am not going into this off season. And what's up, T-Ho? I am not really thinking about De'Ami Brown at all in terms of my offseason plan at wide receiver. Whatever he adds for us this season or this next season is a plus for us. But in terms of like me banking on him to do anything, I'm not going to do that because he hasn't shown anything this year at all.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing. And part of it's been injury. Part of it's been, some missed throws down the field. But I still think we might need to sign a free agent and wide receiver this year, or maybe draft someone relatively early. I like De'Ami Brown, but he hasn't done well this year, and that's not saying he won't be able to do well in the future because that's not what I'm saying at all. I'm just
Right.
saying we shouldn't bank on him to be a stud receiver this year. Next third round pick, Benjamin St. Juice. He was good when he played, but those concussions, man, that is real. With 3 concussions in a year, not
Yeah.
even 3 concussions in a year, 3 concussions in 6 weeks. That is very, very concerning. Also, kind of concerning with the medical staff too, because like, how do you have 3 concussions in 6 weeks? Like, either he didn't have 3 concussions and it was he got cleared too early, or he had a concussion, got cleared too early, and had another concussion as a result of that. But whatever, regardless of what it was, 3 concussions in a matter of 6, 7 weeks, that is very concerning. But he was good when he did play. And then when he did come back, he just wasn't playing because, they moved Kendall Fuller to the outside and he was balling out. In the early part of the season, Kendall Fuller was not playing well in the slot. Then you go to the fourth round pick. John Bates has been a beast, man. John Bates, honestly, he's been my favorite draft pick. Him or Cosme. I was a huge fan of Bates, just because of his like early on in the season, his blocking really, really helped us, and it's been good all year. And he's developed a little bit of as a pass catcher. And some people are saying, oh, he can be a solid tight end too. I think he can be more than that. I think he
Yep.
can be a dominant blocker, like a top 5-ish, top 5, top 10 blocking tight end in the league. And then also a solid pass catcher, not a dominant guy, but, a guy that can get you 400, 600 yards in the National Football League. And usually these guys don't do much out these, blocking tight ends coming out of college. They don't do anything in the NFL the first couple of years because tight end is the position that it usually takes the most time to develop besides probably quarterback. So I'm really liking what I'm seeing from John Bates. I know you do too. So what's your thoughts on Bates?
When they drafted him, I kind of was like high on him, and I said, well, this kid's a former track athlete. He has good catching ability, but he's very heavy footed, right? And we've seen him miss some catches, but I think in his first year, being in a completely different area than Oregon and Boise, Idaho, he has done the best job he can do.
Oh yeah.
And with that being said, like you said, Pedro, I think him and also Sam
Logan.
Cosme, yeah, they have been the best rookies. They
Yeah.
have been the two best rookies, and it's not even close. I think where Jamin Davis was before to where he was now, he's taking steps, but there's still to be a lot desired from him. But my boy
Yeah.
John Bates, man, I told y'all, I
Shout
told
out.
y'all.
Yeah, shout out Pete Haner, man. He deserves. I know Jim Hostler
Yes.
got promoted this offseason. I would promote Pete Haner, man. He's him and John Matsko, man. Those guys have been amazing. Fat American man, appreciate the $5 donation. Says, yo, I'm curious. Do you think arm strength can be improved by Taylor Heineke, or is that what we're gonna get? I think that's you. It's there's not much you can do. There's maybe little things that can improve it like super slightly, but I think it's what we're going to get from him. The things I think he can improve on is decision making, and specifically, I've been saying this for so long, pretty much since the start of this. After the second game, he holds onto the ball way too long.
Mm-hmm.
Like he can make all these guys miss, and then he gets a little bit too greedy. Like once you make the first guy miss, there's gonna be another. Throw it away. Like 90% of the time, there's not going to be a guy open, or it's going to be hard to make a throw. So either throw it away or run it, because I think he can do so much more than what he's doing on the ground, because he is super quick, super mobile, and Washington doesn't use him much in the run game, and also he is pretty conservative in terms of running the football. Like there's times where he has an open lane, he can get 7 to 10 yards, and he doesn't. So those are the things I think he can improve on. But at the end of the day, like at best, who knows? There's always outliers. But at best, in my opinion, he's kind of like a low tier starter.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I think he's a good backup. You know what
He's
you're
a
gonna get
he's
out of
he's a
him.
perfect backup. Like he's
Yeah.
a perfect backup.
He can come in there and play some spot duty. I think somebody had made a comparison on one of my streams to him being like Colt McCoy,
I think he's better.
in a sense. Yeah, I believe he's better too. But we see we're gonna get out of Taylor, and he's 20. He'll be 29 at the beginning of the next season. You're not gonna improve that arm strength. He's not the future like not everybody, but like people want to make him to be. Let's see what we have at the young man. Yeah, is he playing? He's like Brandon Wheaton in that sense, right? Brandon Wheaton wasn't a young man when he got drafted and when he started for the Browns back in 2012. He's like 26, 27. That's not a young man. That's an old ass guy. So
Yeah.
um, it just. Keep him here. Let him back up. If he needs to be he is your bridge starter. That's what it is. Get your quarterback. If you're gonna get your young quarterback, Taylor Heineke is your bridge quarterback.
Yeah, I agree, and then I also agree. I'm still eager to see Samus Reyes. Like I'm not like thinking he's going to be a star, but it's incredible he even made the roster this year and he got in some
Mm-hmm.
NFL action. So this offseason is going to be absolutely huge from him having a full offseason to reflect on what he did this year and to get even better. Like I think he could, do some things this next season, and maybe be that kind of third tight end for us next year if we do like let Ricky Seals Jones go, because I think they do like Reyes, and I think if we let Reyes go, someone will pick him up. But yeah, I like Reyes. They didn't even. Did you see the taunting penalty he had last week? Because I didn't. They didn't show it, right?
No, they didn't. They didn't.
Yeah.
I heard it. I was like, who got taunting? And they were like, oh, it's Sam. I was like, do what?
Yeah.
So I
Let's
didn't
see.
see it.
Okay. Barrett, appreciate the $5 donation. Says our season gets away from us early. How can we improve on that? Because I totally agree with you. I mean, the last couple years starting out so slow, and the first season I kind of put it to like it's the COVID year. Ron Rivera first
Mm-hmm.
season in Washington. So many new faces, so many young guys too. I mean, that was the biggest thing. Haskins, that whole situation. So that's kind of why I was like, okay, uh, that's why I thought last year, and then this year the same thing happens with, and maybe you can say it's because Fitzpatrick goes down, and maybe they're, obviously they were banking on Fitzpatrick being their starter, but honestly, I don't know how we can improve on that. Maybe getting a veteran quarterback in here, but I don't honestly don't want a veteran quarterback unless it's Rodgers, Wilson, or Watson. If he
Yeah.
gets cleared, but any of the other veterans, on the market in free agency, none of them are a clear upgrade over Heineke in my opinion. So you might as well just keep Heineke, and I think that'll help us improve a little bit early on in the season, get some continuity in the offense, because the whole offseason they were planning on Fitzpatrick being the starter, and then first week of the season, second quarter, he gets hurt. So that's something that I think can be fixed. That can help a little bit, but I don't know. Rivera's teams historically are second half teams, and obviously, it sucks, but I much rather have a second half team than a first half team, because
Yep.
if you're a team that's going to make the playoffs, I much rather make the playoffs, winning 5 straight at the end of the season versus, being like the Cardinals last year, where they start off the season so hot and then finish the season cold. But man, appreciate the donation. Let's see. Fat American, again, appreciate the $5 donation. Says, well, next year I don't see us drafting a QB. Weak draft class so far, so maybe Heineke remains the starter next season, or you guys want a veteran. So I kind of answered the veteran part. If it's Watson, Wilson, or Rodgers, I'm all for it. Give me one of those guys for sure. But if it's not, unless one of those other names get out there that we're not expecting, because every year there's one guy that you're like, wow, he's available. So maybe I'm not opposed to Tua. Like, I'm not like, I know some people don't love him, but at the same time, it's like, man, I don't know if I want to go after one of these options where you don't know if he's a franchise guy, because if that's the case, I'd rather just draft the guy. But Tua could be an option. But I think they will likely, if they can't get any of these options, I think they will draft a quarterback. Not necessarily. I think if they trade up and get one, early, like Matt Corral or Kenny Pickett, maybe they will start over. Maybe they will start over Heineke. But if not, I think Heineke has a solid shot, like a 40 to 60% chance of being the starter next year for a while until that quarterback develops. So I think Heineke will play next year, pretty much no matter what, unless we get a crazy veteran free agent. But I like Heineke. I think he literally is the perfect backup, and because he is, you know, he knows the system. Teammates absolutely love him, and he just has he has that spark. He brings that energy. He brings that great spark to your team, so he can hold it down for you. He can hold it down for you for a few weeks, and even like 6-7 weeks if your starter goes down. But I don't know about a full season. But still next year I'm fine with him being the starter. I really, really am. I like what he brings to the table. Let's see. T Ho man, appreciate the $5 donation. Says, do you know who's going to be our backup right guard since Brandon Sheriff is on the COVID list and Matty Ice is coming off of it? It's going to be Sadiq. Sadiq, I'm excited, honestly. I'm excited to see what he can do at guard, because that's what a lot of people are saying he can do. So, I mean, next year, man, I love this offensive line. If you can bring back Leno, you got Leno at left tackle, you got Flowers at left guard, you got Chase Roulier at center, and then at right guard, you have Wes Schweitzer and Sadiq, and at right tackle, you have Cosme. I mean, that's like an above average offensive line for probably bottom 8, bottom 9 money. So that's what you want to do in this league. Find average to above average, level for super low price. And that's what we're doing. That's what they're doing here. So they can go ahead, pay their D line, pay Terry, pay some of these other guys. So, Sadiq, let's hope he can develop and be a solid backup for us the next few years, where kind of be that Wes Schweitzer, where, if one of these guys goes down, he can come in there, because Sadiq can play all the positions on the offensive line. I don't know about center, but he can basically play any position. So, I mean, that's super valuable to have, honestly. That's very valuable to have. So, I'm excited to see what he can do. I'm excited to see what he can do. And yeah, Sheriff missing another game, and this one is a little bit more excusable. But it's just another game on the list of him missing.
Yeah, I think Sadiq is kind of putting that term position flex to good use, isn't he? Because he's played like some.
Him
He's
and
been able to.
Wes.
Yeah, they have just been able to do it. and the line not miss a beat. And that's part of credit is to John Masco and Travell Wharton, but it's also it's credit to these young men who go out there and prove that they can go and play. And wherever you put me in, coach, we're gonna play at a high level. And I was worried about Sadiq Charles coming into the season. I made the joke. I said, well, I just need 3 snaps out of him, and he's the most improved player this year. But he has legitimately done well when they've put him in there. I think wasn't he the right? He was the right tackle for a little bit during the Bucks game.
I think it was the Broncos
Yeah,
game, wasn't it?
yeah, something like that. So he's been doing good. And the fact we don't hear that he's there, then that's another adage that he's doing good at where he's at.
Yeah, for sure.
Mm-hmm.
So let's see. Appreciate that, Armin. And yeah, go ahead and guys, hit that like button on this stream, like it up,
You got another
subscribe to
touchdown,
me.
Pedro.
Nick Chubb got one.
Yep,
Let's go.
but
Sub up
there's a
to.
flag on.
Oh
There's a
man, why
flag.
you got to tease me like that? Sub up to
Hey, no, this is the Browns.
Sub up to Corey. Sub up to Corey. Even though he's getting me mad right now, giving me some hope on my matchup, my fantasy football matchup. But let's get into some of these win view picks for the week. Appreciate them helping making this stream possible. So Corey, I know you haven't done this yet, but we're gonna basically go through a set of questions. And yeah, let's see. Christian, yeah, Cosme looks like he's going to start. And we're going to basically kind of answer them. You can give your opinion. I'll give mine. Let's see. I'm pulling it up. And yeah, and I'll talk about them in a little bit. So we're going to go here. First question. Either team records a pick 6 in this game. I'm going to say no on this one. You can see the odds right there. You get way better odds if you say yes, but I'm going to go no on this one.
Yeah, let's go no.
Okay, next one. Washington wins the game or Eagles? I'm gonna go Eagles for now, just because don't know who's gonna start.
We ain't never scared. We ain't never scared. Go, yeah, I'm going yes.
All right, you're going yes. I'm going
Yeah.
no. But just so I can hedge my happiness. If Washington wins, hey, I lost a silly bet. But if they lose, at least I won this right here. So let's go a little bit low right there. Let's see. Either team passes for 225 or more total yards. That's tough, right? Honestly, I might say no on that one because
Yeah.
I mean if Heineke or any of these other guys play, Heineke or Allen plays, then maybe we can get over 225. But if not, I mean Garrett Gilbert, I don't see him throwing 225 yards. I don't see Shermer's passing 225 yards. So I would say no on this one. And Jalen Hurts usually doesn't get many passing yards either. Did Chubb score or no?
No, it was a hold, and they brought it back.
Man. All right. Either team scores 30 or more. 30 is kind of tough. I'm going to say no on this one. 2 teams running the football a ton. I'm going to go no.
Nah, I can't do that. That's too much. Too much.
Yeah, too much. Let's see. Okay. Either team rushes for 100 or more total yards in the game. Yes, 100%. I'm going if that doesn't 100 or more yards in the game, I'm trying to make sure I read that right. Each team rushes for 100 or yeah, I would say for sure, right?
Mhm. I think I think it's pretty safe to be honest with you.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, let's see. Devontae Smith records 54 or more total receiving yards. I mean, someone's going to have to get the receiving yards, but I don't know. I mean, Devontae, it's really hit or miss. I'm going to say no because he usually it's tough because Kendall Fuller is out. But what do you think on this one?
If you said Dallas Goddard, I'd say yes.
That's true.
Devontae Smith, I would say push on that one. I
Yeah.
would really say a push because that's it just depends on because our secondary has so many lapses in it. But I really do think, like, if you said, "Hey, not Jalen, Dallas Goddard," I'd be absolutely. But I don't know about that one.
Yeah, because with yeah, Cameron Curl out, Dallas Goddard might eat, but I think we should be. Devontae Smith is kind of hit or miss, but I'm gonna go no on this one. I'm gonna go no on this one. Got a few more questions here. Philly passes for 3 or more touchdowns this game. No,
No.
I would be if that happens. We're losing by 20. Let's see.
Yeah.
Both teams combine to force 3 or more turnovers. That, honestly, with the odds that it's giving me, I'm gonna say
Yes.
yes, just because because Heineke usually is in for a turnover ish a game, one or more. Hurts will fumble the ball, will put the ball in harm's way. I mean, he had like 2 or 3 interceptions. I think he had 3 interceptions against the Giants. So I think with the odds it's given me, I mean, I get 4 times 4.4. I'm gonna say yes on this one.
Yeah.
Let's see. Got a couple more questions. Dallas Goddard records 5 or more receptions. I think we're going to say yes on this one, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, he's going to eat. If Cameron Curl doesn't play, he's going to have a big, big day. And even if he does, Gibson rushes for a touchdown in the game. I'm going to go yes on this one. He didn't rush for a touchdown last week, so I think he's going to be hungry this week. Hopefully, though, because if he puts the ball on the ground, he's done. He's done for
Yeah.
like a quarter at least.
Yeah.
What do you think?
I'm gonna say no.
All right, I'm gonna
And
say
he's on my
yes.
fantasy. And he's on my fantasy team. And
Yeah.
I'm saying no.
All right, so that was it for the win view picks. Make sure you guys go ahead and check them out. I'll make sure to the link is in the description. I'll also put it in the chat. The nation's leading sports predictor, allowing you to compete in pregame or live contests against other people. So you can go head to head against, any of your friends, family. It's really fun thing to do. You just answer like 10 questions about each game before it begins, or you can play in quarter long contests while you're watching the game. New users get a first time deposit bonus of up to $200, and you can play your first $20 risk free. So make sure you guys go ahead and check them out. Let's see. So we're going to, those were the win view picks. I feel pretty good about them. There was a couple that were kind of iffy, but honestly, some of those were pretty easy. Like I think Dallas Goddard is going to record, unless he gets injured, he's going to get more than 5 receptions. And then some of those other ones, 100+ rushing yards. I feel like we got most of those. Let's see. T-Ho says, I hope that Cam Curl returns sooner. I hope he does. It's going to be a little bit harder for him, but he should be good to go. Hopefully, if not by this game, hopefully by next Sunday.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's see. I think we will win. I have confidence in the team, but it's definitely going to be challenging. I really hope we can get 5+ guys back next or this or tomorrow because we're definitely short, especially on special teams. A lot of our top guys are out. But next man up, and Rivera. I trust Rivera. To have these guys ready, mentally ready. They might not be physically ready because it might be a practice squad guy that is not good at all. But I trust him to be have these guys ready for this game, especially mentally.
Yeah. No doubt about it. Yeah. And that's what they've been doing, especially since they came off the bye. They seem like they've been ready mentally. Um, they got right in the second half against Dallas. So I'm not worried about that aspect. It's just actually going out there and having the game day execution.
Yeah, I agree with you. So let's see. But yeah, I mean, yeah, it's going to be tough. But no, Tio says we have to win all 4 games. I don't think we have to win 4 games to make the playoffs. So we get 9-8. I think we have a really, really good shot of making the playoffs. If we win 8 games, not very likely, but still possible. But 3 is the magic number. Win 3 more games. Giants game should be pretty easy. It really should. And then the other 2 games, Cowboys games, going to be really tough. You got it. The Eagles games are important. Dave Moore says you're preparing for your date with Brew. I mean, hey, we lost the first game, and it was 27-20. people are going to say it was a close game, but in reality, in my opinion, we were dominated in that game. There's no other way to put it. We did come back at the end, but um, the score wasn't as close as it really was. Although the refs and the Cowboys fans are going to say, the refs were fine, but there's literally a picture of and a video of the extra point, one of Greg Zuerlein's extra points not even coming close to the like you can clearly see it not go through the uprights and they accept it like they call it a good kick and it's just like man that is obvious. New York can easily see that and it was deemed wrong and there's a few other plays. I'm not gonna go into it too much because we deserve to lose that game, but man, Taylor Heineke in that first quarter, first half just gave the Cowboys free points. I mean that he gave them a free touchdown there and then had that pick, which put him in not too much his fault, but still put the Cowboys in great field position there. So, and also, I mean, who did we have out that game? We had Sweat, Logan Thomas, Casey Toohill, James Smith Williams out, and we had some other guys on offense. So we'll see. We'll see. Depends on how many guys we get back. Maybe we'll be able to beat you guys. Yeah, I think we'll probably end up winning 2 out of the next 4. What do you think, Corey? If you had to guess.
Yeah, I think that's acceptable. I think 2 out of the next 4 is. Will it be enough? That's the question, though. I
Probably
don't think.
not.
Yeah,
Probably
but
not.
I think I think that is reasonable to be thinking going down 2-2 in the final 4 games of the season. I think that's more than reasonable.
Yeah, I mean, and you have a chance to make the playoffs if that happens, but not a good one. Like you got like a
Mm-hmm.
1-4 like kind of shot to make the playoffs. We'll see though. We'll see. And yeah, I mean, if we can make the playoffs, that would be great. And maybe the Bucks play the Bucks, injury-riddled Bucks in the playoffs, have a little bit of a chance. But man, Tom Brady in the playoffs. I mean, it's tough to do. And then you maybe got the Packers, and that's going to be a tough. They're amazing in the first 2 rounds. They're amazing in the first 2 rounds. Honestly, the Cardinals are looking like the team to play in the playoffs. If I had to play one of those top 4 teams.
Yeah, it's. I don't know which one of them you'd want to play. To be honest with you, my gosh, it is what you got. You got
Cowboys, Packers,
Cowboys,
Bucks, and
Packers.
Cardinals.
Right now, I'd rather play the Cardinals. To be honest with you,
Yeah, yeah,
I'd play
definitely.
the
I would go
Cardinals. Yeah.
Cardinals. And yeah, we have the reality is we these last few games we're gonna probably have to beat the Cowboys if we want to make the playoffs or sweep the Eagles, one or the other, and that's gonna be really hard to do. Really,
Yep.
really hard to do to either sweep the Cowboys or not sweep the Cowboys, sweep the Eagles or beat the Cowboys one time at FedEx or not Fed at AT&T Stadium with a short
Mm-hmm.
rest for us. It's gonna be tough, but Rivera, I think he's gonna have these guys ready. It's just gonna come down to execution and how many bodies we have ready. Really, that's gonna come.
Yep.
That's what it's gonna come down to. So we'll answer a couple more questions, but we're gonna wrap it up in a few minutes, man. Corey, appreciate you coming on. Very big game for Washington tomorrow. Let's hopefully we can get Kyle Allen or Taylor Heineke back tomorrow. If that happens, we have a shot. I mean, you know how Heineke is in these big games. That's what I forgot, man. Rivera. I mean, he's Mr.
Yeah.
Primetime. I mean, every big kind of like I know some of these games aren't prime time, but these afternoon/night games he's been really good at. So far this year, won a Thursday night and a Monday night, and then last year beat the Eagles on Sunday night, which not a
Yep.
great win, but you won. He beat the Steelers on a Monday night, kind of as well, and then there was another game in there. So I mean, we'll see. That's another
Yeah.
thing into the equation, but it's gonna have to be done. I don't think it's very likely, but you never know with this team and with Rivera.
Yeah, they like I said, they seem more prepared on night games and Thursday games, short week, long weeks. It don't really matter. they seem like they're prepared. So we'll see come tomorrow night around this time, and I think it'll be very telling to be where we're at about an hour into that football game.
Yeah, and guys, make sure tomorrow you guys are staying tuned, to Twitter, or I'll be posting on YouTube as well the injury or the COVID updates, because we're gonna find out early tomorrow, not early tomorrow, but 10, 11, which quarterback is gonna start. We're gonna find out. The Eagles, they've been putting guys in the COVID list. I think Andre Dillard, who's their backup tackle, and then man, what's his name? Alabama center, who you know who I'm talking about, right? Alabama
Pierce Brown,
center. What? No,
which one?
no, no.
Play for? Oh, okay,
For the Eagles, they drafted him in the Dickerson, Landon Dickerson.
okay, yeah, yeah,
He
yeah,
is
yeah.
on the list as well. So, and then Quez Watkins. I don't know if he got activated, but they've got some players on the list. So tomorrow, stay tuned for that, because that's going to be very important in terms of the outcome of this game. And let's hope we can get our guys back. Let's really hope we can get our guys back, because if not, I mean, it's really tough, because then we just got a loss, and we play against the Cowboys on a short rest. So that's going to be tough. But yeah, I agree with Dave more. But I mean, it does suck for us that we have to play on a short rest. But at the same time, we got 2 extra days to prepare for the Eagles game, and we maybe get some guys back. We'll see. So man, appreciate you coming on, Corey. Again, guys, make
Appreciate
sure
you.
you guys go ahead, sub up to Corey, and appreciate everyone in the chat for coming through. All right.
Appreciate it.
Peace.
Peace, guys.